All right. Welcome to Beyond Motion. I'm Rick. This is Coach of the Year, Wilbur Solander, known as Wibbs. Um, the guy can coach his ass off. I swear to God, he can. And I will take him wherever I go. He'll be my head guy wherever I go. If we open 25 Beyond Motions, he'll be that Strength Lift 25 Beyond Motions. He's the man. So, but we were talking, and as we talk, we constantly say we should probably have a video camera shooting all the time because it's some good information we're always going over. Like if I just put a camera in this office and just dropped it on YouTube and say, coach talk and meetings we have, I think a lot of the young coaches would really appreciate the information we're putting out.
That's good stuff, yeah.
So what we wanted to go over today was, go ahead. We talked a little bit before.
So we're talking just kind of about the field as a whole and different things, different aspects, and what gets you from A to B and what gets you from okay, cool, I like lifting weights to hey, how do I take it to the field, or hey, maybe I want to just look good, So the discussion kind of turned into okay, we each have a different background. We all do the same. We all go from the same playbook, but how did you get from A to B? So the question for you is then, what is your path? What was your background up to this point? How does that separate you from everybody else?
Yeah, so when he says me, I think us, just to be clear. So it's like we're a team, and that's my pet peeve. That's my pet peeve, but that was good. But you did it for question format.
That was a question
Yeah,
yes.
I get that.
Your journey.
My journey,
Yes.
So I guess we wanted to share this because there's so many young strength coaches out there that don't understand that there's time. It takes time, and to share that time essence, I think I have to share my journey a little bit. So
Yeah.
like my first strength conditioning job was with the Chicago Bulls. It wasn't a job; it was an internship that I freaking begged Al Vermeil for. Okay, played football with the son and stuff like that, and I begged him for it. He said they had enough interns, so I asked him again, and he goes, "Well, I've seen you play, so yeah, okay, come on out." And
Had to beg for an internship.
yeah, had to beg for an internship, unheard of, right?
That's unheard of in this day. For sure.
So he gives me it, right? And I don't think he called me the right name for the first 4 months. Maybe 6 months. So if Al, you're watching this, you know damn well you didn't. And I think you remember what you called me, but I can't say it on camera. So his assistant, Eric Helland, who I was mainly under, I helped with we had kids come in the afternoon, and I helped with the juniors a lot, and kids going through med ball circuits, etc. And then the players in the morning. And the players in the morning got as they trusted me more. Point being is I took a year off of school, spent a year under Al. Al brought some of the best practitioners in. I was the one holding the video camera, like fucking shaking it and stuff, and he's yelling at me left and right.
1980s
And,
camcorder.
oh yeah, I've got like protein shakes in my pocket. Like I'm like, gotta get something, and you don't even know what you have at the time because you're learning so much valuable information. If you and I can go back those times, and we'd be a sponge, be like, just like, oh my God, we had Greg Cook come in. We had, just the top names that you hear of now that are multi-billionaires and millionaires, just dominating their field. And the Bulls were great at bringing the best practitioners in, and we wanted to learn from them. And Al's a learner, so he wanted to learn from them as well. So I want to thank Al first and foremost, being my first mentor. Eric Helland was his top assistant, and I want to thank him for teaching me how to communicate. And I think Eric may take that as a slight little bit, because he taught me how to coach a lot as well. But Eric was probably one of the best communicators when it came to coaching.
Really?
Yeah, it was
huge.
Huge. Because Al was in his later aspect of it, and Al was, yelled down from the top bunker at me if I did something wrong, and then everyone shakes and shivers. So, but Eric taught me communication. So after that, I spent a year there, and Al gave me an opportunity. The Olympic Training Center called, and his son was going to go lift for them at the time, and I was Olympic lifting and not competing, but I was average, and they needed someone to actually assist in that aspect. So I needed to finish college, and Colorado Springs called UCCS, University of Colorado Springs, had a good exercise science program. I didn't finish there. I finished from Pueblo, which had another exercise science program. So still wasn't mature enough at that time for school.
So was that original move for the OTC, or was that move for the degree, or was it kind of just both?
It was both. It was both. Probably first to get out of the house because I was living at home, and then the second was the OTC was going to give me the experience, and then I realized early on I needed experience. I don't know why, but I knew that. And
Took a guess.
I took a guess. I figured I needed to separate myself somehow. And so I went to the OTC, and so in the OTC, if you're not an Olympic weightlifter, you're not snatching 250, cleaning 380, not ranked.
They don't.
There's not a lot of respect there.
Sure.
So Dragomir,
I'm sure.
yeah. I mean, Dragomir Krilicion's the head strength coach, or the head coach. Sorry, not strength coach, the head coach, and he's Romanian. He was a bronze medalist in the '84 Olympics, and this guy I don't think he's once again said too many words for me for like 6 months. Like honestly, I'm just at practice 4 hours a day, just helping out the juniors and like loading weights, unloading weights, and like preparing volume for Super Squad 2000 because we had our whole 2000 team hopeful Olympics going to 2000, so we needed to do the volume numbers at the end of every day. So I did that for him, and then I was pretty much not addressed for 6 months. It's a very, very not exciting environment when you think about it. It's a very lonesome sports, just like tennis sometimes can be. Yeah, and after about 6 months, they realized they could start trusting me a little more. So I got an opportunity to be the full junior Olympic coach, where I lived in the dorms and was in charge of the kids outside of the weight room and then inside of the weight room, which was really not good because I was a kid at the same time. So that, as you can imagine, my maturity level now compared to 22, 23, that was indifferent. Yeah, that was rough. So I did that, and I kept on learning. And was anyone taking me aside and teaching me? No, they weren't. But when you watch the best lifters every day for 4 hours, osmosis takes over.
Oh yeah, you're gonna learn through watching. You're gonna see the reps. You're gonna see it done over again. And eventually, either you're gonna figure it out that that's a good one and that's a bad one, or you're just sitting there with a monkey smashing your cymbals.
Exactly.
So you're gonna absorb at some point.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. So those patterns take place, and you recognize a bad pattern to a good pattern. So I was there for 2 years, and Bob Green was the assistant. I learned a lot from him. Learned a lot from Drag at the end as well. He opened up more. And I'm forever grateful for that internship, for that job, post-internship. And then I went to the Air Force Academy. And so I went to Alan Hendrick, who's over there. And I had to finish we had 2 internships at the end of our schooling, because I finished once again University of Colorado, or in Pueblo, Colorado State. And what we had in their internship was a smaller internship and a big internship. So one 500-hour one and like 1,000-hour one.
And this was to graduate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 500-hour one was my junior year, and I went to the Air Force Academy, and Alan goes, like I walked in there, and he goes, Alan says, we don't do interns. And I said, okay. So can I please intern?
Can we just hang out? Let me just come in and hang out for a couple
I'm not going to
hours.
hurt anything. I'm not going to hurt. He's like, what have you done? So I hand him my resume, and my resume's got like who's who in strength and conditioning. It's got Al, it's got Eric, it's got Dragomir, and he goes, well, I guess you can intern. So
okay. Actually, you're actually more qualified than everybody else. So I guess we'll let you hang out.
I remember him saying it's quite a resume for a young guy, and so Alan, what Alan taught me was, Alan's awesome at programming. Alan can create. Like, just the systematic aspect of programming was incredible. How he undulated programs, how he felt the volume of speed, power, and density and strength, and how he basically undulated back and forth through those.
Now, with that, is that on paper, or is that, in the weight room seeing in practice? Because as we talked about, programming is a warplane.
Right.
Okay, so I got this. I've spent 6 weeks putting together your next 8 months of every day, this, that, the other. Day 2, okay, this is gonna fly at all. He's missing XYZ. I need to do something else. So it's kind of both.
No, well, yes, no, because when you have 50 players or 70 players right there, you can't
change everything. Okay.
So you pretty much have to go with that.
It's set in stone
It's
a little
set
bit
in
more.
stone.
Okay.
So,
I suppose an individualized program.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So that's the difference between group and singles. So right there. So if you want to be in a group, group's already programmed. Singles, There's an art and a feel and a vibe to it. So coaches out there that, you know, been coaching a while, they like that art and feel and vibe. So, but Alan was really good at feeling that vibe before it happened and understanding the roles of the stressors the athlete went through and the non-stressors. And, you know, we had a keg week where it was dealing with half-empty kegs for stability. We had a manual resistance week.
Oh, wow.
So he was fabulous with that stuff. So, I mean, stuff what we can put in play today even better than I think about it. So I was under him for about 6 months, and then they realized that I could be of use to them, so they stipended me at the end, and which meant you get very minimal money, but they can go home early on Friday, and I can watch the supplement counters and make sure no one's stealing anything. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's always the player that tries to take more protein.
There's always, yeah.
There's always those players out
there. At least
there.
one.
Yes.
At least one, yeah.
There were multiple. Zanati, if you're watching this, you know it's you. So after the Air Force Academy, I went back to Chicago Bulls, and I finished up my last internship with them, and that was during a draft eval. And the draft eval was going. I think we were evaling for the 2000 draft. Yeah, the 2000 draft. So that was when I worked a lot with Ron Artest, Hilton Brand, Randy Brown. That was the Bulls, the new Bulls coming out after the Jordan years. The draft, we took Marcus Fizer, which was a bust. Obviously didn't do a good job evaluating him, but on paper he looked really good. And Jake Voskuhl, Khalid El-Amin, you name it. Those players, we were working with them. And through the eval process, and we were evaluating every day, I learned just a shitload. I mean, just...
Now with that, were you involved in the process, or were you kind of, you know, standing behind somebody doing it?
I was standing behind, yeah.
So you weren't the evaluator, you were the...
I was standing behind. I was the guy picking the guys off in the airport, and then I was the guy making sure, taking the numbers down and seeing how they did and everything.
Okay. You're still going to learn a ton being over the shoulder of the evalers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the evaluator was Eric, so, and then Al would do some of it, but Eric did most of it. And it's a grueling summer, especially when you have a high draft pick, because there's a lot of guys you got to bring in. And the Bulls, as we all know, had a lot of high draft picks. So it was an awesome learning experience. So I'll never forget that summer. As Eric Helland goes to me, he goes, "So keep in mind, like to all you young strength coaches, I've gotten hardly any money yet. There's no money in my bank account yet."
It sounds like this is going on a couple of years of just working and not being seen and acknowledged and just underground.
But what have I built? A huge resume.
Experience.
I can take anywhere and be like, fuck you. Look at this.
I don't really know about you. Well, look at my experience guide. There's literally nothing I haven't checked off the box.
Look at my references.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna help.
Yeah.
So yeah, to see the put in the work now to get paid later. You know, it's funny you said. I just read something. You know, to wrap it into what's going on right now. Cam Newton. He was an MVP. He's taking a team to a Super Bowl. He didn't have anybody hire him. The guy that led the league in interceptions last year got picked up by a team before him. So he was talking about, you know what? I put in the work now. It'll come out. Yeah. And I think he used his dad's quote and was saying, payment isn't always monetary.
Oh, I like that.
So it's not always monetary what you're going to get. So he's putting in the work now. Okay, cool. He's making, just let's say it's $1 million this year.
That's going to be the title. Payment is not always monetary.
He's going to put in the work and get seen and build his resume. Is he getting paid for it? All right, yeah, he is because that's his profession. But he's building an experience. He's building that resume, which is going to pay off a lot more later on, rather than me signing that big contract and resume going to crap. So not all payment is monetary.
I like that.
It was a better phrase. It was a better phrase than that.
No,
long story short.
That's golden. I like that. Another good phrase I heard this week is easy to learn, hard to master. They're referring to pickleball, by the way. Anyways, let's go back on track. So, so young strength coaches, you're talking about, I don't know how many years that was, probably way too many years of not getting paid for a damn thing. So, but it's a field I love. I love the field. And it frustrates the heck out of us when we see people that are not professionals within the field doing stuff within it. Or an expert who's got experience under a guy he did a tutelage from for a long weekend or a 6-month course. That's all. So here's the advice I'm going to give you. Strength coaches, be prepared to not make a lot of money for a while. Okay. Look for knowledge. Look for experience. If they don't know your name, it doesn't matter. Steal the experience. Take what you can. Make every experience the best out of it you can. Out of it, make it a situation that's going to benefit you. Okay. The next thing is, to all our athletes out there, possible athletes, when you're looking for strength coaches or performance enhancement people, look for someone who's got a multitude of experience. Don't look for someone who's got one thing under the belt that they got lucky and just got under so-and-so. Look for someone who's actually developed a system and developed a progression, developed macros, and actually created it. So that's a huge thing. So what I tell people is this, and I know it annoys Wibbs and I, because I know this guy can coach and I'm not just fluffing him right here. So he can coach anyone out of a box. And I'll take him 9.99% of the time out of anyone else. Because at the bottom of it, he knows the nuts and bolts what it takes to make an athlete perform. Okay?
It didn't happen overnight.
It didn't happen overnight.
It's not overnight.
But it kills us to see this crap on the internet, this crap of coaches thinking that they're experts in a field after minimum experience. Once again, it takes patterns, it takes time, it takes knowledge. It just does not come overnight. So patience is going to be the key thing. And when you're looking for someone, ask them for their references, ask them for your qualifications, ask them questions about like how are they going to make you better. And all those young strength coaches out there, give it time, work for free. Because trust me, that person, I know if it's me, if they come in here, he's my head guy. If someone comes in here tomorrow and says, I want to just volunteer for 4 months. All right, go ahead. I'm not going to promise you anything. You think we'll hire him in 4 months though, or her? Most likely.
There's a good shot.
Good shot. Yeah, most likely we will. So that's with the saturation of the field. That's where you have to go with things. And the field wasn't saturated when I was in it. And you could count the years of multiple that I wasn't getting paid a damn thing. So anyways, I just wanted to get that out there and let everyone know a little bit about my past and like how it came to be and how we got here. But most of all, be patient. And what's the quote we're gonna say?
Payment is not always monetary.
Payment is not always monetary. Okay, be better from the situation you just came in than how you entered it. So leave it better than how you entered it, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So payment's not always monetary. Be patient. Learn. Ask questions. Athletes become more knowledgeable, and the coaches become more knowledgeable. And please stop pretending to be all that crap on Instagram. All right. We are real here. All right. Adios.